my darlings. It's ALB in Whisperland here. Thank you so much for joining me. Tonight I'm going to be showing you some things that I made that I feel very proud of. So, if you haven't seen it yet, I would love to tell you about a really cool project that I recently participated construction hat out of yellow felt, and it's not perfect because it's made of felt. What can you do? But I did my very best with this. As you can see, I have another headband here that I first made the hat and then installed that right onto the headband. So it's glued on the inside. Of course, the inside's more messy than the outside, but isn't that just the way? And I did that so that I wouldn't have to worry about the placement, because obviously this is also a small hat, just like the graduation cap. It's tiny. This is how it looks when I put it on. It's goofy, but I like goofy a lot. I don't know about you. I actually kept joking that with the little antennae, this looks like the hat that Genie wears at the end of the animated Aladdin movie, you know, when he's going to Disneyland, and he has the Pluto ear hat, don't you think? A little bit. I think kind of. That may just be one of those thoughts that I have when I've worked on something for too long. But yeah, and then I just put some other strips of felt on top to kind of give the illusion of those ridges that construction hats have. You know what I'm talking about? On the top. Again, this was me looking at Google and being like, what do construction hats look like? I don't know. I don't work in construction. I'm an illustrator. I don't know how any of this looks, so I did my best. You get what it is when you look at it. It's not perfect though. And I painted the little symbol of Hunex Industries on top. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with this now. It seems like kind of a shame to just get rid of it, but at the same time I'm like, what am I gonna use this for? I don't know. We'll see. Now, this is just the tie I wore in the movie. It's just a regular satin tie. I didn't do any customization to this. In the movie, Adam does have a tie with yellow stripes, and I almost customized this, but you can't really see my neck and collar too well the way I had the filming set up. So it kind of seemed like one of those things where what I would get out of the time spent wouldn't really be, you know, you have to kind of weigh these types of things when you're working on big projects. And I like wearing ties, so I thought, well, if I just leave it black, I'll be able to reuse it. So no customization on the tie, but it's cute, right? This is another prop that I'm very proud of. This is, I guess this is kind of a spoiler for the movie. Hopefully you've seen it by now, but if not, I won't tell you why this is an integral plot point. It's not, I'm just kidding. This is a hair clip inspired by the little pink cocktail sword that Adam has at one point in the movie. So I made this out of felt. There's 2 layers here that I glued together. 2 layers of felt thickened by the glue in between. So that's why it's pretty sturdy. It doesn't bend too much. And then I used my glue gun to put a little alligator clip on the back. Like that. And then I just used acrylic paint to put all the, you know, highlights and details into this to make it look more like a cocktail sword. I mean, to be honest with you, I was hoping when I went to the dollar store that I could just find a cocktail sword to use So I bought a $1.50 school project board. You know, the kinds that when you're in grade school you do like science fair projects. It's got one back and then two little doors on the front that fold in and out. So it kind of ends up looking like this kind of shape, right? Like this. And it was like a white cardboard thing. I printed out on the computer a perfect hexagon shape. To me, I needed honeycombs for my backdrop, right? Because we're bees. And I just thought, I live in a hive. I need to have honeycombs in the background. So I printed this shape out on the computer and I cut along the lines as straight as I possibly could. And then I traced this hexagon shape onto the cardboard, just all over patterns. I would line it up with whatever one I made. This is so easy to do, and you can do it yourself at home if you want to. And then I painted all the hexagons black with black acrylic paint. What is written on here? Oh, just little notes I've made for myself. I think I was on the phone or something and I was just doodling. Do you guys ever do that? When I'm on the phone with anyone, I have to be doing something. I like a task. I can't just sit there and be on the phone. I have to be like writing or drawing or like washing dishes or something. Or pacing. I'm a big pacer. Love to pace around when I'm on the phone. Anyway, so what was I saying? Yes, the backdrop. channel. It's on GB's channel. I thought this would be a great opportunity to talk not only about the project, but kind of the flip side of being like on the other side of it, watching both like you as a fan and also like making cool stuff for something. So I thought this could kind of be like a little making of behind the scenes, because that's why we all buy DVDs when we do. We want those special features. Well, my darlings, thank you so much for watching.